So what is the best budget PC case in 2020? Well, the year is early, but I'm pretty confident that what you got in front of you will be hard to beat, with an MSRP of 89 bucks for the black variant and $95 for the white option. There is a lot of value here. Now Lian Li could have easily asked $160 for this one, heck they could have asked 200 bucks and it still would have been a great case, but at $89 I guarantee you won't be able to find anything better than this. Today, yeah, we're gonna build a gaming PC using the Lian Li brand new Lancool II, a mid-size enclosure, and this case pretty much beats every case out there in the sub $100 category. There is no doubt about it. I said it recently, my latest $900 gaming PC build, and I'm going to say it again, Lian Li is most definitely not breaking even with Lancool. I'm gonna show you what this case has to offer in just a second, but hey, what is up guys, my name is Robin, welcome to RGB Hardware. I'm your Swedish host and friend with bad posture and poor accent, and in case you wanna check out this case in question, you'll find a link down in the video description. I do feel a bit cheesy when I say this, considering I've only recorded a handful of case reviews in the past on this channel, but take my word for it, I've been building computers for 15 years before YouTube. This is definitely my favorite case of all time in every category, period. So Lancool II, this is a mid-size budget-friendly PC case packed with features, comes in both black and white, and at first glance you would maybe think that most of the panels except for the frame would be plastic, but this is actually steel. In fact, it turns out pretty much the whole case from the top to the bottom is using the same, steel material. It's got this matte, kinda rough finish. I'm not sure if the camera is able to pick it up, but it looks very nice and it does feel expensive. I was very surprised picking the case up at the carrier as the box was very heavy, and at first I was very surprised because I was expecting a lot more plastic considering the price tag, but for some reason it seems like Lian Li has been able to stay under the magic $100 mark while still sticking to quality materials. And there are just a few areas of the top that is plastic, and this is very refreshing to see in this price category. And the list goes on. The build quality is great as well, and I'm particularly a fan of the fact that you don't have to use the screwdriver much when installing PC components, as both the glass panels as well as the metal shroud on both sides are fitted with strong magnets, and building in this case is such a fun and exciting experience. Now keep in mind, when it comes to the tempered glass panels, although the magnets are strong, there is no way to fully secure them, although the magnets are indeed very strong, so I wouldn't be too worried if I needed to transport it, for example. So few benefits with the front. First and foremost, it's perforated, which means that this will allow for great air intake. Another thing of course is the RGB, as you can see, and this can be configured in a wide range of color options. If your motherboard got an RGB header, you can also plug in the included RGB cable into your motherboard, and then you can control the colors through your desktop and you can match it with the rest of your system, which is very nice. Now taking the front panel up, we find that the front section got a dust filter on both ends. As you can see, very easy to take off and easy to clean. On the other side of the dust filters are white, which help makes RGB brighter and more punchy. And speaking of lightning, the front panel connects with prongs, making cables and such a thing from the past. Anyway, as I said, the LED strips are addressable, and this can be customized using the buttons on top in case you decide not to plug in the RGB header. And so far I've spent about 2 weeks testing this case, and I kept the coloring at this rainbow mode most of the time, and I think it looks very laid back. And I find the RGB being a very nice touch to the case overall, and I don't find the strips to be distracting unless you switch over to the RGB pulsing mode, of course, which honestly made me quite sick after just a few seconds. But yeah, it doesn't stop there. This budget awesome case also comes with a few extra accessories you can pick up in case you want to spice things up even more. The available accessories are the following. There is a side diffused LED strip that you can easily strap on to the side of the case, and it also uses magnets and shouldn't be too complicated installing. You also got a vertical GPU mounting available for $50, and there is also a hot swap kit for the hard drive bay. And speaking of the hard drive caddy, now this is held in place by a single thumb screw, and once removed you can adjust and move the cage to your liking, and this can be useful if you, for example, you got a fairly long power supply unit, or in case you wanna install a slightly thicker or beefier radiator in the front, for example. And speaking of the caddy, this can hold up to 3 spinning hard drives, and it should be more than enough for most people out there. In addition to these 3 spots, you also find 2 spots for SSDs and the back of the motherboard shroud, as well as 2 additional spots of the shroud on the back. Now, speaking of radiators, in case you got a thicker radiator or perhaps you want to do a push and pull configuration, you can actually take out the front shroud, and this will allow for fantastic clearance for massive radiators. And installing the radiator in the front is also going to be a piece of cake with this case. By losing 2 thumb screws, allow you to take out this whole fan bracket, and this one can hold up to triple 120mm fans on the internal side and dual 140mm fans on the exterior side. And the bracket can also be positioned in a total of 4 positions, allowing even thicker radiators to fit in here. And this will allow you to have, even push and pull configurations. And I have to say, I find this extremely impressive. And I do wish I had a 240 radiator laying around so I could test this out and show you, but unfortunately I don't, so I guess I'm gonna have to save that for a future video. And in case you are interested in exact numbers for clearance, for example, you can easily find that on Lian Li's website. And jumping over to the top from left to right, we find first 2 buttons to address the RGB. We got a reset button, a power button, a combo jack for headphones, a microphone, as well as 2 USB ports 3.0, and the plastic cover right next to the USB port is a USB Type-C port. This is optional, and it does require you to pick up this USB accessory, which will cost you 12 bucks. We find a magnet dust filter covering up the whole top, and here you can fit up to dual 120 or dual 140, and everything is on rails, which is very nice to see. And this will allow you to adjust a potential, a beefier 240 radiator to fit here as well, because a bigger radiator can be a challenge to fit in top in some mid-size cases due to limited clearance. And as you can see, these rails are also placed a bit offset and hopefully allowing both fan and radiators to fit in here. But again, in case you are interested in specific numbers, have a look at Lian Li's site for exact numbers. And I want to remind you that this is a $90 case. With that said, let's keep going. There's a total of 3 120mm fans included, and these are pre-installed. We got 1 in the front, we got 1 in the back, and 1 in the top. Now, these are specified for 1300 RPM, and every fan has rubber on each corner, preventing, vibrations being picked up by the case. I decided to plug in each fan to the fan headers on the motherboard, and running the system in idle, it is actually very quiet. And while you do hear that the system is on, they do not have this annoying, clicking sound or buzzing sound or whatever you call it. And I was very surprised in a positive way, to say the least. And this caught me completely off guard, because at first I wasn't going to keep the fans, but yeah, I'm definitely going to keep them, knowing that they aren't really that bad. And in case you want to install even more fans, you got that option also. We have 2 extra spots here in the front, as well as 2 in the top, of course. And also you can install up to 2 fans on the PCU shroud. As for the PC components, I got an Aorus X470 5 gaming installed. I got a Ryzen 7 1700 currently running, together with the GTX 970 installed, just for fun. And everything fitted just perfectly. And again, building in this case is a dream. If we switch around and look at the cable management, Lian Li is using a paneling approach to cover up the ugly cables, because we do have another side panel here made of glass, and so a clean looking cable solution on the back is therefore, necessary, at least in my opinion. And I definitely think Lian Li nailed the cable management, and with everything in place, the only visible PC port you see here is the SSDs. Now, I am using a semi-modular power supply from Corsair, but I honestly didn't spend much time cleaning up the cables, and all I did was I basically routed each cable through where they were supposed to go. Then I just put the cables back in place, and this is the result. And how nice isn't this, right? As for the temperatures, $200. There is not much to complain about either. So if you're planning on building a gaming PC in 2020, this is the case to get. If you're planning on building a mid-size PC, I wouldn't pick any other case in this category, even if I had $200 to spend. And if you do, save those and get a better graphics card, or a beefier Radiator, or a Noctua CPU cooler for example, and opt for the Lancool II from Lian Li. It doesn't get much better than this. Now for more details where you can pick this up, I got you guys covered down in the video description. And again, this is the best budget case in 2020, hands down. I watched either of these two videos and I will see you over there. I want to thank you so much for sticking around this long, and I will see you in the next video.